Hello, welcome to 10 Days of Gratitude. This is your fill-in host, Angela Gower-Johnson, and today I am interviewing the real host of 10 Days of Gratitude and the creator, Mia Saenz. Welcome, Mia.
Thank you, Angela. I'm so grateful that you wanted to interview me. Thank you.
Oh, it's my absolute pleasure. Woohoo! So let's start this off with, what was your idea for creating this Thanksgiving special?
I have always loved Thanksgiving. Well, I love Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. They were just, once Halloween hit, it just was so magical. Everything just poured and poured and poured. And moves forward and forward. And Thanksgiving has just always been such a wonderful gratitude time. At least that's the way I thought when I was a child. But when I got married at 18 to my first husband, I experienced with his family, his aunt and uncles, we would travel up to their home every year. And we would have this magnificent Thanksgiving feast with so much gratitude. We would start each meal that we would have often that weekend with what we were grateful for. And so that just melted into my heart and my being. And I think that it's so wonderful to experience deep, deep gratitude, period. But then also we should do it, if we can, every day. And so I like to, at times when I'm feeling spunky, because as we know, we're not always spunky, I like to bring it about on a more regular basis. So I thought about everybody who watches my shows and stuff, and I wanted to bring in special people for this Thanksgiving special and emphasize what gratitude is all about.
Perfect. Woohoo. So just out of curiosity, what was your favorite thing to eat at Thanksgiving? What's something that really made you grateful for Thanksgiving?
Turkey and cranberry sauce, but not so much the jelly kind. I liked the chunky, fresh off the stove kind. It was incredible. One of my extended cousins, I say extended because it was on my first husband's side, she used to put orange peels and pecans and all sorts of yummy things in the cranberry sauce, and it was just highly unique. And that was really a fun question there.
Awesome. Perfect. For me, it was the stuffing. I absolutely adore American stuffing.
I love that too, and I love to make it. And my Argentinian husband does not like it at all. Surprise, surprise.
All right, well, you just have to train him, because I've had to train my family and my husband to like it, and even my in-laws like it now, because the British stuffing is so different. And I also love the turkey and cranberry sauce, and I like the chunky real kind as well. So I'm with you on that. But my favorite thing would be the turkey, cranberry sauce, and stuffing. It has to be that. Perfect. I'm just a real foodie, so I had to know. So what are you grateful for?
Wow. I am grateful for so much. I know that sounds crazy, but I like to practice gratitude every day in my life, particularly right now in this very, very moment. I am grateful for doing this series because I love to share. But in my life, I'm grateful for my family, and I'm so grateful for my work. I cannot express enough how much I love what I do. I love seeing people happy. I love changing their stories from being depressed or abused, trauma as adult or child, into living magnificence and creating something brilliant and teaching people self-love. Sometimes for the first time, they fall in love with themselves. So that's what I am so grateful for. I love what I've created, and I absolutely have created this life. It's out of creation, because as most people know, my life started about 7 years ago. So it's incredible.
Perfect. And how do you do gratitude? Like, what if someone was watching this and that concept was totally foreign to them? Mm-hmm. So if I were to say to you that I don't understand gratitude, and I want to do gratitude. How do you do gratitude? How would you tell me to do gratitude? What does it look like or feel like for you?
I would first ask you something that you really love in your life. If you're unfamiliar with gratitude, what's something that you really love in your life? I love my puppy. Okay. So when you feel that love for your puppy, you're very, very happy throughout your whole system, your whole body in essence. Yes, I really am. Okay, so let's take this. When you want to bring gratitude into your life, you find things in your life that you're grateful for. Not just your puppy, but everything. We can be grateful for our clothes, our bed, our sleep, our spouses, our mates, our children, our kitty cat, our flowers in our yard, the food that we eat. Everything can be gratitude can be brought into everything and anything if we connect to it. So connecting to what you love and feeling that joy. And as it grows and builds and you feel that magnificent joy that wells up inside of you, I tell people that that's the closest you are to God, the closest you are to the divine, to Creator, because when you're so engulfed in that love that you begin to feel in giving gratitude, there's nothing higher than that sense of love that you have for yourself and just the entire world.
Perfect. So for you, is it a feeling that sort of builds up, like maybe in your chest or a bit lower, and it comes up? And
it does.
It reminds you of your connection to God.
It does. For me, that's
it strengthens that connection.
It does, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so if I didn't really know about it, if I was sort of blasé about something, then maybe what I could do is get a nice feeling in my tummy and sort of bring that maybe like a warmth up.
Well, you can even do what a lot of people do is write it down. Write down what you're grateful for. And as you embed it into your system, as you bring it in, I love to bring in that power that it gives me. And so, yes, it wells up. I'm not quite sure if it wells up in my tummy. I always feel it in my chest and my heart. But yeah, it exudes our whole body. You're absolutely
right. So from your chest, then going up.
Yes.
To your heart.
And all throughout my body.
And then all throughout your body. And that reminds you of your amazing and great connection to God.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect.
I feel
sorry.
That's all right. I feel so loved in that moment, in that experience, that there's nothing greater than that love. And that's the love between, like, the most amazing relationship between a mother and a child, or a father and a child. But really it's greater than that, because it's the connection to, if people watching this are people who believe in God and the divine, that connection that you feel is so magnificently powerful, you don't want anything else but to live in that gratitude space.
Perfect. Yay. Well, thank you so much for sharing that, because I was able to really feel that gratitude and replicate it the way that you do. And that was just really yummy and delicious for me. So thank you.
Thank you, Angela.
All right. So what is your background, lovely, beautiful Mia?
What is my background? I'm a transformational spiritual practitioner. And what that means is I used to use the word spiritual self-love teacher, but I don't like the word guru or master, and I realize a teacher can throw people off too. What I do is teach. I have programs that I work with people through self-love, I have manifesting, I have the total flow mastery, which is everything together. So I help people understand their divine connection. I'm a divine core connector is what, one of the terms that I use. So helping people discover who they are and their connection to the divine is what I so love to do with people, and so that they can see their brilliance and their magnificence. when I do start working with people, I do need to find out, and I do take an intake of, how they were raised, their religion, what they are now, and little bits and pieces that then we build upon that. And I know how to speak to you because sometimes, I've worked with Muslims, Jews, Christians, a myriad of different, backgrounds, Buddhists, all sorts of people. So speaking their language is what's important to me so that we can connect and they can grow if they're interested in what I teach.
Perfect. That sounds amazing. Yay.
It's fun. It's the most fun I know I can have. I mean, seriously, I love it. So.
Yay. So what is your free gift?
My free gift. My free gift is one of the guided meditations off my brand new CD, Spirit Life, and I'm going to gift everybody with grounding. This is a very special one to me because it was a last-minute change on the album. I was going to do one on manifesting, which will be on the next album. But I had a bunch of people write me all in the same week asking similar questions on bringing themselves back to center, to be grounded. So really this was created for everybody who I work with and those who follow my work. So it was bringing people, it helps people to ground themselves and get back to center when they're in one of those funky places that they feel they can't get out of.
Perfect.
So that's the free gift. And I hope you all enjoy it as much as I enjoyed creating it for you.
All right. So what is one of the main top reasons that someone would want to be grounded?
Grounding brings us back to center. It brings us back to our calm space. It brings us back to our connection to the divine. When we're out of alignment, we tend to feel helter-skelter. We have this huge energy, negative energy flowing through us. We either have panic, anxiety, depression. There's so many things that not being centered allows into our experience that does not make us happy, does not make us feel in the place where we can create magnificence in our life or even just be happy in our life. All of us want to live a happy life and be happy. Many people don't know how, and there are many people who have different methods out there, different than mine, and that's fine. That's perfect because not everybody matches each other. So being grounded is a perfect place to have abundance and magnificence and brilliance in your life. And what those mean, for those who are unfamiliar with that, is totally expressing divinity, being in total alignment with God. And that's the beauty and the magnificence of it. So being grounded is incredibly important for each individual. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. And I'd just like to add that with my knowledge of Native Americans, what I found was that grounding is absolutely essential. It's the foundation of all the medicine men that I've trained with. That was their foundation. Their first teaching in becoming a medicine man was mastering the grounding. So I just wanted to add that because it is definitely one of the most valuable tools that you can learn.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for offering that as a gift.
As you and I both know that there are many trials that people have in trying to find their balance, and when they have no guidance, it's very hard sometimes to leave that darkness behind and come into the light. So grounding, it very much brings us from a place of frustration or a semi-dark place where we can't seem to get out because we're either highly anxious or we're depressed or saddened for a myriad of reasons, which aren't really that important. What's important, and I'm hoping that people will see this, is that they want to come back into the happiness, come back into the light, right, come back into grace. So the grounding is highly important to bring us back to that state. And that's why I created this guided meditation, was to help people find that when they just can't move back into their center, their balance. This will help them, guide them back into their happy place.
Perfect. Well, I just find it fascinating because with the Native American training that I had, what I found from the different medicine men from the different tribes that I trained with, they all started with the foundation of grounding, and that was what they started training in between the ages of 4 and 6. And it's a very super important part, which is why in my free gift, funnily enough, there is a grounding and protection meditation as well.
Very cool.
So that's, I just find it really interesting that you and I both did that. And and I love your explanation as to why grounding is important, because it's obviously that's your way of looking at it, which I totally agree with. And it's also so fascinating how it's different from where I'm coming from with it, because for me, I would say one of the great results of practicing grounding is that you learn how to create boundaries, that it allows you to get out of beta and into alpha, which you basically said. I'm just using different terminology.
Right.
And it also gives you access to more of you. It quiets everything down so that you can actually have awareness and listen to Creator or hear God, which is
Exactly.
brilliant.
And but as you know, as we do this, if somebody was just to start, like those sweet little children at age 4, their environment was not developed as much as, say, somebody in their 30s, 40s, or 50s. So when we do this grounding and come out of this place, oftentimes people fall back. There's steps we take back and then we leap forward in progressing. So it's fortunate for those children to learn that magnificent tool at such a young age, and it is one of the most primary fundamental tools of living a prosperous life and a creative life, because when we can get out of those depths that we jump back to and come forward into growth, that's when, but it does take older people sometimes, and I'm talking about 4-year-olds compared to adults, it takes them longer because they have more garbage built up, more false beliefs, more limiting beliefs. So to get through that, they have to, I always tell people, practice, practice, practice. Be very gentle with yourself and very kind, and love your process, because the more you do it, the easier it will get. You could have thousands of things that could be disruptive to you, but the more you do this, you'll only, have like a handful eventually, and you'll be able to move through things very quickly.
Right, exactly. And just FYI, they trained for 4 to 6 years in grounding. I mean, they spent from sun up to sundown, because it is such a vital tool, and it is the foundation for being your greatness and mastering being the creator of your life. Yay.
Yeah. And as people on their amazing journeys through life, as they learn, and in this culture, as we learn and as we progress and become self-aware and are able to utilize all these tools, it does take many years. It may take an adult to be fluent in something, depending on how eager they are to learn. It may take them more than 4 years. Maybe not. It depends. It could take you a brief amount of time, depending on how fast forward you want to move. It's like I love how to say, or I love saying, it's like quantum physics, because when we put our intention in it, we keep working it, we just do these quantum leaps forward to where people are it blows their mind when they actually participate in their own life. They can literally leap so much further than they ever had before in their life. Instead of taking 10 years, it may take a year to transform their life. It just depends on the individual, yes, and their desire and their love for doing it.
Perfect. Yay. So, my beautiful Mia, my last question to you is, what would you like to share with everyone?
Well, coming off of what we were just talking about, about grounding, I really would like you all to know how magnificent you are. Many don't believe that about themselves. But the way I see you, and the way many see you, and the way God sees you is brilliant, beautiful, magnificent. You already are complete and whole. You just have to believe it and understand it yourself to see it. And that's what I'd really love you to understand and to leave you with, is that you are completely brilliant right now. And don't believe any lies about yourself. And do the work that you would like to do to become aware of who you truly are and in your proper alignment. With that, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that heartfelt message. I really, really felt it, and
Thank you, Angela.
so grateful for you.
Thank you also for interviewing me for the opening segment of 10 Days of Gratitude. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it was my absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
And we'll see you in the next segment.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.